All right, welcome back. It's time for another episode of Survival of the Fittest. Is the soup du jour. I'm Chef Roberto Trevino, and do I have a treat for you today because I'm in the epicenter of cool in Orlando, and I mean that. You know, I think between the corners of Mills and Colonial, all the way up to probably Fairbanks. I think that crosses. I think we're talking about probably the most cool area in Orlando. Although Orlando has a lot of great restaurants and a lot of great niches, you know, this particular area seems to be super cool. And you can see it in the demographic. You know, it really runs the gamut as far as age and wealth spectrum. But, you know, you see the hipness. Again, all ages. You know, I don't necessarily think hip is a young thing. I think it's just a thing. So definitely you see that around here. And I happen to be at Pig Floyds, Urban Barbacoa. And I've known Thomas for some time. He's a great guy. He's the owner. And I think he's got a really honest, proven restaurant that you could visit. It's got great outdoor seating. It's got, you know, some seating inside. The kitchen's exposed there, so you get to see the kitchen in action. I see the back has the smokers. I think I saw Southern Pride. A shout out to Jared Robertson, who, you know, those guys over at Southern Pride barbecues, you know, are smokers. They're just amazing. I'd have to say the best on the planet. So, and they're priced that way. I'd have to say it's the Rolls Royce, it's the Cadillac, if you will, of smokers. And I saw one here at at Pig Floyds. So that's always nice to see. I just had lunch. You can hear the cars behind me. We are on location, so I think that's great. And the flavors really work. You know, I mean, there's you know, it has all the, I guess, the standard smoke restaurant sides with the beans and the slaw, but it definitely gives things a little more of a Latin angle. Now, Thomas is from Puerto Rico, so he's versed, if you will, in sazon y ricura. Tú me entiendes? That's Puerto Rico for you. So he definitely brings that element to his Southern-style smoke restaurant. You know, the St. Louis ribs, which were awesome. The brisket, which was as well, just hitting it out of the park. But what the highlight for me was when I actually had one of the sweet plantains that are fried, known as amarillos or maduros, just fried till they're caramelized outside, and then just you taste that with the smoked spare rib or the St. Louis style rib. Wow, unbelievable, great combination. Definitely worth the drive, no matter where you're coming from. You know, even if it's Georgia or, you know, Alabama, our neighboring states, you could make it this way, or Miami. That's our neighboring state to the south. I'm joking. But definitely worth the drive because the food is that good. And the brisket, you know, it gives you a couple of tortillas with it. And it's just like, yeah, you know, you kind of like gravitate to making yourself like a small little burrito or a little taquito, and it works. So hats off to Thomas for that little addition to his Southern style, as opposed to like a piece of like regular Wonder Bread, you know, which you'll get in Texas, or Texas toast anywhere in Texas barbecue. But I like that Thomas brings a Latin angle to it, and he pulls it off. And then, like, once again, he's not a stranger. He's been in business for a long time now. I don't know exactly the date, but he's been around for a while, and I think he's established himself as having a really good restaurant. All the elements are here. His location on Mills, he's got a couple of new locations coming as well. But his Mills location, you know, the parking lots, well kept. The restaurant looks, you know, in great shape. You know, the bathrooms are clean, and you know that I'm sorry to have to go there, but as a restaurateur or an operator, you know how important it is to have all those things clean so that people understand that you have a clear understanding of cleanliness. And those are the indicators: the parking lot, your outdoor area, your dining room, the bathrooms, obviously the kitchen. So, and you know, that you have an open kitchen, I think that's great. You know, I've always enjoyed that about restaurants, and I've enjoyed working in kitchens that are open kitchens because it kind of lets you be part of the evening, you know, out there. So that's always nice. But going back to Pig Floyd's, um, I mean, yes, the green beans. I remember I'd been here before to a previous location he had, another one in Lake Nona, and I had the green beans there, and they were so good. And I remember, like I said, and then I had them here, and they're just the same. And something to be said about consistency, you know, in several locations. That is huge. So, you know, as an operator, I think Thomas recognizes some of the keys. And also, you know, his demographic kind of like spans the, you know, ages. So he just got it built that way so that a family feels comfortable. A group of 10, 20 people can come here and enjoy a fast service, you know, really fast getting the food to you as well. So it's built to rock and roll. And it also has its like Instagrammable corners where you will want to take pictures next to, you know, some of the neon lights and some of the let's see, some of the, you know, the graffiti outside, and it just works. So if you're ever in Mills in the epicenter of cool, you definitely want to stop into Pig Floyd's Urban Barbacoa and have that mix. You've got to mix those amarillos, you know, or the maduros or the sweet plantains, the fried ones, with some of that smoked meat, because the combination is amazing. And definitely what you want to do is take my word for it in this one, because I know that worked. Because once it hit my palate, you know, that I've already had dominated my mouth with all that heavy smoke flavor, which is fine because that's what you come here for. But then that sweet plantain hit that heavily smoked out palate, and it didn't necessarily get rid of it. It just added that sweetness and that starchiness. That it's not a banana, you know, it's amarillo, it's a plantain, and it's just a starchier, you know, banana family. And it worked, and I was like, yes, this is one of those things that will be memorable as a flavor profile. And that's huge, man, you know. That's as good as it gets when you can remember a flavor, or you can like recall it at your beckoning, you know, of your system, of your flavor, you know, your taste buds. You can say like, Like, for example, I used to work at a place called Compostela in San Juan, one of the fine dining restaurants of Puerto Rico. And before its remodel and sort of its new vision it had, I was there in the classic days of Compostela. And Miriam, the pastry chef upstairs, she had her little pastry shop upstairs. She used to make this blueberry, like it was almost like the consistency of Calfuti, but it had a crust, and it was amazing. And it had a ton of blueberries, and you would eat it, and you would say to yourself, like, wow, this is delicious. And it was one of those food memories that I can, at my beckoning, I can bring that flavor back. It was that memorable. And I think that here at Pig Floyd's Urban Barbacoa, I think when I had the smoked rib and then took on the amarillos, boom, there it was again. A flavor that I will savor for many years. That says a lot. All right, so I'm looking forward to coming back. I want more. I'll probably leave it on my extended period of coming back, because it's such good food that I could find myself overeating, and I definitely don't need that. So definitely put it on your list. Pay a visit and enjoy the great flavors of Pig Floyd's here in the epicenter of cool on Mills, just after Colonial there. I don't know the exact cross streets, and I guess before, is that? I'm not sure. Well, there you go. So I used to come here to a bar called Little Indies, and I believe Will's Pub. I mean, they're kind of connected. super cool. You know, another thing, like if you're gonna do like a little tour of the Mills area of Orlando, downtown-ish Orlando, I guess technically maybe it's still downtown, but you know, you definitely want to like maybe eat here at Pig Floyds. You know, fill yourself up. You know, maybe then you go to the guest house. And you enjoy yourself there, have a couple drinks, a couple cocktails, and then you go catch a DJ or a live performance or whatever they got going on, because literally whatever it is going on over at Little Indies or Will's, it's going to be super cool. On the alternative edge, you know, certainly fun. So you can get yourself some more cocktails there. And I know they do great cocktails there as well, because they were very cocktail-oriented, you know, there at Little Indies. And I enjoyed that part of it. So really your evening in downtown Orlando could be really, really cool with that combination of Pig Floyd's, the guest house, and Little Indies Will's. And then, of course, down, you know, and other cool parts of downtown here, I would have to say, is the Bumby Milk District, you know, which is kind of happening as well. But I'd have to say this is it. I mean, you got Black Rooster Taco here. You've got, you know, you've got just all the cool restaurants. You got Taco China. You know, you've got Tori Tori. You're going to have, you know, you have the traditional killer spots. And I mentioned it before in a previous podcast of An Hong there, you know, and Killer, you know, and how that particular area is developing as well with, I hear the news that Hung from Top Chef, winner of Top Chef, is going in with the I forget the name of the group, but the Tori Tori, you know, bento group, and they're going in to open a place right next door to An Hung, and I think they're going to call it something like Bang Bang Noodle House, which is cool. I like that. And, you know, this area is just that, you know. I think they're, you know, I think Thomas does a great job bringing the amarillos in, but it kind of reminds me that there's not enough Latin restaurants around here, you know. And yeah, Taco China does what Taco China does, and they do a great job. I enjoy Taco China a lot as well, especially the arepa. You know, I go to a taco place and I have an arepa, but then again, it's not your standard taco place, so it works. But definitely, you know, you have some of the really, really cool restaurants. And like I said, I've enjoyed Tori Tori a lot. I think it's just like got big city feel, you know. It's got an exciting, you know, vibe. So definitely you might want to include that on your tour of epicenter of cool Orlando. Let's see, what else could you possibly include around here? I mean, just even walking around, even though it's busy, it's not really built for walking, you know, but you can get away with it after a certain hour when Orlando slows down. And this area really comes to life late night. It really does. And, you know, of course, behind here, Pig Floyds, there's a new winery. I don't know how new. It looks pretty new. It's hip for sure. So, you know, it's very cool. So it's nice to see all this happening. It's nice to see, you know, I see the Lampshade Fair next door is going to get some revamp. Looks like it's going to get taken into a new sort of being, if you will. You know, it won't be the Lampshade Fair any longer. Possibly another F&B offering here on Mills, which would be great. Once again, is there such thing of a restaurant row in Orlando? Can you say iDrive is restaurant row? Yeah, forgive me, I don't mean it like that, but I don't see it. You know, it's just kind of too spread out. It's too, I mean, if you're a tourist and you're visiting here from Europe or you're visiting here from Latin America, and yes, of course, iDrive is great. You're walking up and down, you know, you're looking around, checking stuff out, but it's all cool. It feels good, you know. But this area, this is built by and operated by and enjoyed by locals, local Orlandoans, you know, and if you're here visiting from somewhere, then you should definitely come see how this side of Orlando lives, you know. It's not, you know, everything like what you would see at the theme parks and in the sort of big box restaurant areas, if you will. This is a little more down home, a little more custom, a little more, you know, locally fed, and I think that's worth visiting, you know. And It's definitely kind of, after the pandemic, it's kind of whittled down. Before, it seemed like it was spreading itself out a lot more. There was all kinds of venues, and they've kind of like closed a lot. And so a lot of it's kind of just, a little more centralized, a little more, just perfectly, just seasoned enough for it to be exciting for people. Once again, to get out there and to discover the new place to eat or to discover the new bar. These are the things that I believe that really make a food city or make a fun city or make a city that has a great lifestyle. And this particular area has that. And if you live here, it's a lot of fun. I used to live literally about 5, 6, maybe 8 blocks from here in a just as cool area, this whole area, and you could walk to all this and it was fun. A lot of fun. As a matter of fact, it's what I like to call young fun. It's like you're out there, you're walking around from bar to bar and walking home. And it was really my last hurrah, I'd have to say, of that young fun of getting wild. So I definitely love this. I don't live here anymore. I live definitely in a little more of a country setting. Out in East Orlando, Lake Nona, as you know, but there's something to be said about all this. This is that feeling. This is the CBGB of New York, area. This is the original, this is probably where it all kind of came from. And definitely worth the visit, worth coming to eat. Once again, I put together a little tour for you so that you can enjoy that, and I'm a believer. So definitely Pig Floyds is high on my enjoy very much list. And I must say, hats off to Thomas, and I enjoyed this very much. So once again, if you're ever on Mills, come to Pig Floyd's Urban Barbacoa and find that perfect bite. All right, y'all. This has been Survival of the Fittest is the soup du jour. I'm Chef Roberto Trevino, and right now I am just sending lots of love to everyone that I know, and just keep on keeping on. New York, Puerto Rico, Texas, California, Colorado, the UK. Yes, and Premiership has started, so I'm stoked. All right, go Liverpool. We'll talk to you all soon. Take care.